Well, awesome. So you're doing the Lotus Music Festival coming May 19th to the Meisner Park Amphitheater. So we're very excited. I mean, the
Correct.
lineup is fantastic. I mean, of course, we have the awesome Romantics, and then Boy George and Katrina and the Waves, and so many other great artists. Have you ever performed with any of the artists that are on the lineup for this show?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you go down the list once again, if
Yes.
you have that in front of you, because when we first got the show, apparently, I believe Joan Jett was supposed to be doing it, but, this was a few months ago, and then something happened on their end,
Yeah.
and they're not on the show as far as I understand, correct?
Right. Correct.
Well, you said who else was on there? Boy George?
We have Boy George, Stevie B, Katrina and the Waves, New Shoes, and One in Rome.
Okay, we've done shows with, well, first of all, with Boy George, we just played, actually it was a great show, too. And his band sounds great, and he still sounds every bit as good as he did before.
Yeah, I
if
saw
not
him a
better.
couple months ago, actually.
Yeah, we did a show with him back in Virginia Beach
Mm-hmm.
last year. I believe it was maybe August or September of last year.
Uh-huh.
And it was it was actually a really good show, very well attended, and it was a lot of fun. It was I know what it was. They had to move that show because of the weather. They had to move it indoors. It was supposed to be an outdoor show on the beach,
Yeah.
but because of the weather and the storm they were anticipating, there was a hurricane going up the coast. So they pulled everything indoors. That's what it was. Man, how my memory. How about that for memory, huh?
I hear you, man. Awesome. And that
So
came
anyway,
after a
we've
late
done.
night in Vegas, so that's great.
Yeah, the show with him there, was good, was very good actually. So, this will be a lot of fun. Katrina and the Waves, I believe we did play with them. We did at least one or two shows with them. When in Rome, I know for a fact we've done like 5 or 6 shows with them. So, it sounds like it's going to be a great bill, and it'll be a lot of fun, and it's, playing down in Florida. Are you kidding me? It's always fun.
Yeah, it's going to be like a
No matter
reunion
if
for you guys.
Absolutely, yeah.
And this is at the Meisner
So,
Park Amphitheater in Boca, and I mean, you know how beautiful Boca is, and this is the
Boca, yeah, it's fantastic. We just did. I don't feel no. Where we played, not that far from there was West Palm,
yeah.
and this was not that long ago. So I'm very familiar with the area, and it's always a great time coming down there. Plus, I mean, the weather finally up where I'm from here in Detroit, the weather's finally, starting to turn for the better, and everything's starting to turn very nice and green, and all the flowers are out. But it's always like that down in Florida. So we always look forward to coming there to play, and this will be a great show.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are down here a lot. You guys come down
Well,
more than a lot of other bands.
Well, you know what? We just did. We were down in February. It was because we were there for the cruise.
Yes.
And we played the '80s cruise back in February, and then right on as soon as we got off the ship, we went and we did the Miami Casino.
Yeah, I was there. Yep.
There you go. And we did that show, and that was back in February. So now we're doing this one here on Boca. Then we're doing the, and we have something else coming up, I believe, in June, I think it is, or at the beginning of July, too.
Uh-huh.
Down in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah.
Well, we're always here to support you guys.
Yeah, and it's always great for us because, once again, we did record, we recorded What I Like About You down in Florida, that album. We recorded, the album with Talking in Your Sleep on there in Heat. That was recorded down at Criteria.
Nice.
So almost like a second home for us.
Now, as a musician, guitar player and all, are you self-taught?
I actually took a limited amount of lessons back in the day when I first wanted to start to play guitar.
Uh-huh.
And so I took lessons just to know my way around the instrument. And eventually it got to a point where where you're taking lessons and you're coming home and playing what they're teaching you there, which is what all good students are supposed to do. Take their lessons home with them and rehearse and do your homework, in other words. But after a while, I wanted to learn things that were on songs that I was listening to the radio at that point, and I go, wow, this is a pretty far removed from what I hear on the radio. But in all actuality, the teacher was doing what he was supposed to do and teach me the basics.
Yep.
And slowly bring me up to par playing guitar.
Right.
So eventually I just kind of stopped going for lessons and started, once I realized that I could, after what he taught me, once I realized that I could go home and put my records on the turntable, put my vinyl on the turntable and play it. That was a long time ago, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And, so once I was able to do that and pick the songs apart myself, I figured, well, I really don't have to go take lessons, which was, I'm not sure if that was good or bad, but the bottom line is I was able to decipher the songs and pick them apart on guitar myself, and so no longer needed lessons, and from that point on, self-taught.
Now, of course, your voice is also an instrument as well. Do you do anything to maintain your voice while you're on tour?
I try and be careful. That's what I try and do.
Yeah.
It's because it's another thing. You get older, and some people say, "Oh, the voice gets richer, this and that." But it's also a little harder, I think, to maintain, and because you always want to be on top of your game and stuff. So I just do the same thing, just common sense things that I think I shouldn't do, I don't do. And
Sure.
but you keep picking up. Once you come in contact with other singers, which I do, they keep telling me little hints and tricks that they do. So I take everything to heart.
Nice. Now, you guys have played all over the world, and I'm sure you have stories. Any idea of maybe writing a book down the road about your experiences?
Yeah, I guess that's always possible. I mean, I've been with the band, with the Romantics and a different form of the Romantics since about 1976.
Yeah.
The band started in '77, but we've kind of fooled around with a different version of the band in '76, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of years right there. We're talking about 40 years of playing within this framework. So there's a few stories. Some good, some not so good, but that's what would make a good book.
Absolutely.
So, Bill, thanks for the idea of writing a book. Very good.
I would totally get on that, especially if you're on a... Now, these days, do you guys use a tour bus much, or do you just fly out to gigs?
That's a combination of the both, because if we have... like last year, we did when we did stretches where we did like 10 days or something, and it made more sense for us instead of trying to get different vehicles. I mean, if it's a short 2 or 3 day stint, sometimes we'll go get a big 16-passenger van or a splitter van is what they call them now, and we'll use that. Last summer, when we were out with Rick Springfield, we used a bus for, I believe it was a couple of weeks, because it made sense to do it that way. And sometimes going to Europe, they'll take you around in a splitter van or, whatever it is. But there is a lot of times where we'll just go out for the weekend or maybe one show. We'll fly in, do the show, and then fly out. So it all varies.
So, final question. What's next for you personally and with the Romantics? Anything new coming up?
Well, yeah, we've got to finish up a couple of ideas here to put together to finally get, because we've been releasing 2 songs at a time now for the last, well, not even a full year, but for a while now of new material mixed in with with other songs that were covers that we were planning on putting out, and we still are. So we've got a little bit more studio work to take care of here, and to coincide with the shows that we'll have this summer.
Awesome.
So that's on the board right now. And then we have shows. We're going back out to Europe again here in August for a couple of festivals, and just plugging away.
Now, I said that was the final question, but you had said something. Is there anything from back in the day in the vault that we might be hearing soon?
Yes, there are songs and demo tapes and that, but we haven't decided how we're going to put that together and release it. There's talk of either going in and just leaving it as is, or do you want to kind of, either remix it but a lot of people, I think, will be happy just hearing it the way it was done on the demos. We may not be that happy with the way it sounds and having it come out that way. So it's still under discussion, in other words, of what we're going to do with that. But, yeah, there's a very good chance of that coming out. But there's probably a better chance with a new release, some new releases of new songs and new recordings coming out before that.
Well, we certainly have something to look forward to. And Wally, thanks again for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with Rock Band Reviews. And we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks here in beautiful, sunny Boca Raton. And if we can come back
Absolutely.
and say hi, that would be awesome, man.
Yeah, of course you can. You're always welcome. You know that, Bill.
Yeah, we saw you. We were with you. You mentioned last year with Rick Springfield at Hard Rock, and we came upstairs in that big freaking crate elevator, and we hung out with you guys for a while, and you guys are a blast as always. So we look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah,
we always support you guys, man. You guys rock. You're the best. You sound better than ever, and we all love your music.
Well, thank you very much, Bill, and make sure you come out. Come stop back and say hi, and then you'll be in touch with our road manager about all the details on that, right?
Absolutely. I tell you what, you're lucky to have Mike in your camp, man. What a great guy.
Well, he's been with us for 30 some odd years now too.
Yeah, he probably knows more about you than you do.
He probably does. You're right about that. But make sure you contact him about all the details for that show.
No worries. No worries, Wally. Hey, get some rest. Safe travels to you and the boys on the road, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Take care of yourself.
Cheers, brother.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.